Georges Seurat, 1859 to 1891. He died at the age of 31 at his parents' home of pneumonia, meningitis, and angina, it was reported. He grew up in Paris. His father was a successful legal officer and real estate speculator, so he came from a well-heeled family. Needless to say, he did not have to pursue a career nearly as much of the rest of the artists of his time, with family money and support of his family in his pursuit. At 19, he studied at the École des Beaux-Arts for a year before serving a year in the military. Early on, he experimented with using pastels on rough paper and developed an understanding of textured color, which eventually became his interest in painting with dots and small dabs of color to make colors from a distance become what he wanted, instead of just mixing the paints to get the exact color he imagined. He studied color extensively and gained much early understanding of the complex science of additive and subtractive color at the École des Beaux-Arts library. In 1884, he joined with a group of other artists who were intrigued with this dot painting called pointillism. Anne Grand, Edmund Cross, Dubois, and Paul Signet were his fellow painters in the exhibit at the Groupe des Artistes exhibit. They were all working with dots of color, and their works are interesting to see, quite similar to what he was doing. In 1884 to 1886, Seurat worked tirelessly on his masterpiece called Sunday Afternoon on the Grass paintings, now in Chicago. This is a large painting and a real gem to see. Surely it did not take a long time to paint this many dots, kind of like building one of the pyramids. Yeah, right. It was a time-consuming task and took him 2 years. Numerous critics have made stabs at his mathematical and scientific precisionism with his color, but I personally do not see there as much to really make of this subject, primarily because, as a painter myself, I know mixing color on the palette and using veils or glazes of colors does make understanding the predictability of color difficult. This is what years of painting teaches the artist with how to gain color advantage. Especially oil painting, which tends to be slightly translucent, does cause both additive and subtractive color realities to come into play. Georges Seurat basically kept most of his color in spots or dashes, dabs. So it's understandable that color theorists like to extol some intellectual understanding of what he was doing. However, years of painting teaches the painter some intuitive understanding of color, going beyond grand theories of color. Just mix up a glaze of Indian yellow and paint it over a painting and just see how the theories seem to become challenged. Considering how short a career Seurat had, I make some observations about his work as a painter. His early works, including his Afternoon on the Grass, are incredibly beautiful paintings. However, when you see his later pieces, especially the circus-themed works, it seems his early works were really more about the process of making these pointless pieces with less of a concern about what he was actually painting or saying with his paintings. His later pieces seem to show us a more defined sense of design and message. Who knows where these would have taken him had he lived on many more years. I suspect he would have developed more of a sense of chiaroscuro, using more light and dark areas and not just to focus on the interactions of contrasting colors. After all, gamma or lightness and darkness really did make some incredible tools many artists have used over the centuries. Just for fun, imagine had Rembrandt or Caravaggio tried pointillism. This has been another Naked Artist Exposure video. I appreciate your comments and especially note my interpretation about much of the art I talk about is really from a painter's point of view and certainly not from a serious academic art historian's vantage point. Not that their views are any less important, but as a painter, I see some things differently. I do appreciate the dialogue back, whether from an academic perspective or from a practical painter's mindset. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as this really does inspire us to make more of these. Once again, I am Preston McCall, and I thank you for your support and for watching this piece on George Seurat.